Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. We have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you today. There's a lot of very cool messages in this read, so I would stay tuned if I were you. Please take a deep breath. Okay, so today is July 31st, last day of July. I did get a message that it would be a message to someone out there to show my 78 t-shirt today. So I don't have it on because I wouldn't be able to show it to you, but it is my 78 t-shirt. So here's the 78. Okay, so that's a message for someone, and it comes up in the read. A lot of numbers came up in the read, in the beginning of the read, in the code, and then translated into the end of the read message as well. So very, very cool stuff. I just finished actually doing this. I've been working on all day besides a couple appointments that I had in between. But today's the 31st, which is the 5 of Wands, which is the number of conflict and expansion. Well, 5 is all about freedom and change and expansion. But the 31 specifically is a 4. But the card associated with that is the 5 of Wands. So it is about that expansion energy, conflict, games, the pursuit of happiness even, the battle. And the day adds up to 42 today, which is the 2 of Cups. It is a 6, however, which has to do with love, family, and community. So that's a very feminine, soft number. And then the 31 is more of a masculine, hard number. So the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups was reversed today. 5 of Wands is upright, so there may be some conflicts within one-on-one relationships today. So, I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 9:01 this morning. 9 is the Hermit, 1 is the Magician. And for those of you not familiar, it's a 7-deck read. The SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck for the read, along with the mini Rider Waite. We have the Romance Angels, the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Numerology deck, as well as the Gilded Tarot and the Universal Golden Tarot. It is a masculine read for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames, but it is the masculine within the feminine as well. And it is a general read, so please don't force it to fit if it doesn't resonate with you. There's a lot of messages with a lot of energy on the table. So at 9:22, I was getting there may be some crazy kids in the way. And I also had all 4 queens in a cluster. Again, yesterday, the Queen of Wands was the only queen upright. Same thing today. And the Empress is reversed too. So she's the only queen upright. All the other queens and Empress are reversed, but they were like in a cluster, like they were all associated together. And all the aces were upright except for the Ace of Pentacles today. There was a space between the Magician reversed and the Judgment and 10 of Pentacles reversed. So that could reference a family and the Magician or insecurities of the masculine. And that was at 9:23, the Hermit and the King of Wands. The King of Wands did come up in conflict today. He was reversed. He is the Shaman in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then I finished the read at 9:27, which is the Hermit, and the 27, which is the Ace of Wands. The major arcana here were Solar Deity, which is the Sun, Chariot, Shadow, which is the Devil, and Star. Before the read, no majors, and after the read, Luna or the Moon came up. I always pull a couple cards on either side of the read that I do incorporate into the read. We had 1 wand, 3 swords, 2 cups, and 1 pentacle. So mostly swords today, which can either be too much in your head or could be doing intellectual type work. The court cards, we have the Queen of Swords, the only court card in the main part of the read, and the only other court card was the King of Wands just before the read. We had triple 3s in the read today and double 6s. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. We also, the number 23 came up, which is the King of Wands, and the sequence 6, 7, 8, 9, just in time. But also the way the numbers came up on the table today, they were showing me had significance. So 72 is coming up as significant, and 36 came up multiple times today. not only in this, but in significance in the Bible and other things on the ascension path. And then also 98, which is the human temperature, came up as well. And you notice 36 is half of 72 as well, so they're probably related. 72 also is the Four of Pentacles, which is that moderation card of holding on loosely, grounding, and saving. And I've also gotten messages that the 2 Four of Pentacles equal the twins as the 8 of Pentacles, you know, doing the creative work, working to align with your true desires. So, and of course the triple threes regards the Trinity energy, and 369 of the 3D, 4D, 5D. The code line here is all about healing today, and the number was the number 8, which is the dance between your masculine and feminine when you're perfectly balanced, centered, and then you're dancing between your masculine and feminine and your 3D and 5D at the same time. And this is why it takes a long time to learn how to do that, because you're not just juggling in two ways. Another message that came up today is that it's not a two-way polarity, it's a three-way polarity, because the Y in the road is literally like the Mercedes symbol, right? It's got the 3 prongs in the circle around it, and the 3 prongs is the Y in the road. And it's actually the polarities that you would normally think of, and then source. But I was also getting the polarity of excitement and joy, and the polarity of anger, and then the polarity of sadness as 3 separate ones. So that was very interesting as well. So around healing and the code line, well, first the other numbers. 13, 21. 13 is the death card, 21 is the world, so they're both ending cards or culmination cards. And that's it. The other ones I told you about. Oh, in the lesser sense, 34 came up, which is 8 of Wands, and 46, which is the 6 of Cups. So as soon as I read the code line, even though it's not outright this, that's the message I was getting. I was getting fa, sol, la, ti, do. So those are for the 4th to 7th notes, and then going back to the 1st or the 8th note, depending on your perspective, because there's only 7 notes in the scale, but it goes back to do, which is the 1st note, but it's the 8th in the scale. So 4 to 7 always comes up for me as the sweet spot, right? Because 5 is the middle of 1 to 10, and then 4 to 7 is the sweet spot, because you're always wanting to air above the center. So 47 and 427 was coming up, as well as 81, because I was getting 8 or 1. So then 81 is karma, the end of karma for me. And I asked today also why, if I get 81 as karma, and that was originally from the Divine Triangle numerology book, as 81 being like the end of karma. So when you turn age 81 as the end of the life cycle, then you can choose, you know, your path at that point. But I also get 24 as the omega, as the end of karma. So I asked what the difference was, and I was getting that 9 or 81 is the universal ending of karma, and 6 is the community end of karma. So it's more of a family scale as opposed to the universal scale. So that was the answer I got. The code line regarding the mother. So there's a couple different messages here. The mother being the foe, or the false, or the crazy person. The 7th note, or the source show of power, regarding the feminine energy, the Sophia of the collective consciousness. The chariot being the dance. The chariot is the feminine within the masculine. It's also the vehicle of ascension, and the dance of the 8, and that he's healing. Literally, it said he's healing, because healing was the numerology card here today. So some of the acronyms that came up was FOT, F-O-T, as well as FOTI, F-O-T-I. And FOTI just is to photograph, or the number 40, or there was both of them meant to F, or to screw, which was really funny. They're both in a slang way. And then the word he, like you'd never think he really means much else than him, right? But it came up as Paca, which is a large southern or central or South or Central American rodent. So he's coming up as a rodent, but he also means her in certain languages. And it also means haver, which means babble, oats, holder, to grab, to take, I have done. So in other words, a possession, credit, taking credit, or a pal, a buddy, or a dude is he. also means to put. It also means what time is it? It also means water, river, lake, liquid. And in the Hebrew letter, the Phoenician letter, and also to say, to tell, to give, and behold. That's all for the word he. HES is a blouse or shirt that's protective as a signal, like I just showed you. I wasn't even thinking of this, that was related to the shirt. So the shirt, in this case, it's saying it's a protective shirt, like construction workers would wear something to alert you. So that's the same thing coming up here, which then I had to show you the 78 on my shirt. And that might be a protective signal as a message to someone. Also, it means horse or husky, and hay rack. So FOT, F-O-T, means to screw. That's the vulgar definition. To do, to annoy, to bug, bother, damage, break, or mock. So this is some of the things the mother may be doing to the masculines. And it also means foot, which is 12 inches, or a base. And you can imagine the references for that. And it also means the forest. So seeing the forest through the trees. So there's some sexual references there. So a lot of sexual or vulgar or slang sexual indications there, or insinuations. So, but it's regarding the mother and how, and the way the mother may have dominated some of the masculines. And of course, this is not going to be for all of you, but this was the message. And it coming up as the mother, as the FOT, or imbalanced, right? So it's giving me the phi symbol, which means you're outside the lines, but then you're off balance, and you don't know how to center yourself again. So you may have had a mother considered a dark mother because she was drawing outside the lines, but she didn't know how to balance herself. So that always kept her in the kind of crazy zone, right? So the mother perhaps annoying or screws the masculine over or interferes with his relationships or mocks him. Also teeny and tiny were coming up, so they could, obviously most men don't like those words. The source, show of power, or referencing him as more feminine than a real man. Those could be things he was teased with by either family members or a mother, that he was more Sophia than the masculine. And the chariot coming up here, the vehicle of ascension for the masculine and the feminine, but that's also the number 7 and the 8 coming up. So here the number 78 came up. And that he's healing. He's dancing, being strong, and healing. The mother or Mary, the foot, or seeing the tree through the forest, or the photograph. The number 40, which is the Page of Cups, and that comes up again, the number 40, and another reference. And then just the letter F, which references to screw, but it also references temperature rising in a different sense, from the normal human body temperature, either getting too hot or too cold. It expresses the combination of the masculine and feminine coming together, right, and needing to balance because of those two different energies. And the show of power of the divine Sophia, the feminine collective energy, as a saint of the he, right, so the feminine part of the he. The vehicle show of strength of the divine feminine side, and the 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, which is the dream family for he and for her, to give Sophia, and it may reference what the masculine always dreams of being able to offer, his divine feminine, in order to offer her something to heal with. And then the 78 shirt came up here, but also the number 8 by itself might come up as well. So, excuse me. And then I was hearing some buzzing noise, and I thought it was a bug inside, but it wasn't. It was some, they were doing some drilling work, and it's weird. It just sounded like a buzzing of a bug. So, yeah, and make sure you have your boundaries up, and state your sovereignty, basically, to whatever it is, to other people, to places, to bugs, whatever it is. Say if they're not invited into your space and they're taking over your space, then you have the right to protect your space. So I start out this read with the 7 of Wands upright. And but beneath it was the King of Wands reversed, the 4 of Cups reversed, and the 3 of Wands reversed. So with the 7 of Wands upright, to stand up and rise up was very specific today, to rise. After the King of Wands reversed is tired, sick, or mad, or starting over, like no longer settling, for mediocrity, right, or something doesn't resonate with him, not accepting mediocrity of or living in the past, rising above the drama, not expressing his desires though, still delays or a heated exchange, and love offered from a group, friends, but refusing to return it, and the emperor with financial drain or a child, or powerless in sharing or settling out, or being charitable with others. The emperor not telling or not returning sentiments of others, powerless to an offer of love because they just want his money or him to give time, money, and effort to them, or they may be offering love for money, or a group wants to own him to take him off the market, right? So they keep offering him stuff just to keep him tied down so he can't go anywhere else. And then supporting his efforts, but there's something they want from it. It's not just love. It seems like it's all love, but it's not, because then all of a sudden he has more and more and more to do, and it never ends. So 1017 was coming up here, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the star, or the 17. And then it's 18 of the moon, which was significant today, because then Revelations came up at the end of the read as well, which there were 19 parts of Revelation. So 18 comes up as the Armageddon. So 18 is the moon. And so he may also not be telling others or not returning sentiments to friendly third parties, trying to keep it professional at work. This was very cool too. So I told you 78 came up in the code line, and also 4 to 7 is the sweet spot. Well, I went to the dentist today, and I never even thought about it. I've been going to this address since I was a little kid. The address at the dentist is 7847. And then I was thinking about something as I'm staring at the address, because I had to wait outside until they were ready for me. And then I turned away to say no, and I looked the other way, and there's this van right in my face driving by, stopped at the light, and the number was 438, which is the Emperor and the Queen of Cups, and then 8888. So it was really funny with the numbers today. So he may be feeling drained by big love, but balanced with lots of little offers. So he may be feeling drained by a big love offer, but balanced by lots of little ones, or friendly exchange, or just, little flirtations. Friends to hold him up equals with an equal exchange, or in other words, about 3 to 3. But he's seeing that this big love, no matter what that love is, requires 3 more that he doesn't have, or a partner or child expecting too much from him, or they are intercepting loving messages for him, or employees are filtering his messages with or without him knowing about it, or them not telling. The group only giving the emperor messages that they want him to have. The King of Wands reversed may be sick, tired, or angry. Could be a Leo, or just egotistical. Could be a Sag or Aries as well, or another Leo sticking their butt where it doesn't belong. So it could be a Leo outside of the King of Wands, or he's the Leo. Or it could just be ego. So the Page of Swords is a message or news focusing on the message, the word, the truth, with the King of Pentacles upright, Hierophant, so that could be a Taurus King of Pentacles. Could be a leader, religious leader, or establishment, or community, and leading the way for them with good news, success, and attention by standing up to others and rising above the drama, or drama queens and kings, or Leo interfering with his messages, or the King of Pentacles is speaking, it has a speaking engagement, or is representing church and state, or running for office and needs community and religious support to get elected, but leader or religion is expecting them to bow down and kiss their feet, or the Divine Masculine wants to take someone down by running against them in the fall, or cause the old system or patriarchy to fall, or is working in that way on someone else's behalf. So this could be a Leo reverse. The King of Wands could certainly be that Leo reverse, or an Aries. The Emperor's coming up as the Aries, though, and he's upright. So the Taurus is coming up as the King of Pentacles, and they're both upright cards as well. So it could be literally the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands reversed, and then the Emperor. And it's possible the King of Pentacles could be the Emperor, but they could be 2 separate people as well. So, and this is where I went to the dentist right there. So standing up, being counted, and being seen. And I was just out from 11 to 12. So maybe something significant, that's why I'm bringing that up, that hour, because that's the 11th hour, right, between 11 and 12. So the Page of Cups is upright here. The innocence, the loving child, or puppy love, or a message of love may be helpful in recovery. To be happy and satisfied with 99 bottles of beer on the wall and the Empress reversed ill, or in a facility or hospital, or without a loving child to visit them and cheer her up, or finally allowed a child to visit when they weren't allowed before. So this could be a parent or grandparent who's in a facility or just visiting their home and they're not well. Or this Empress could be someone who's a really miserable or mean person who's recovering financially, and a child seems unaffected by her misery or demands. Just because your mother's ill or injured or destitute or in exile doesn't mean the child needs to suffer too, and vice versa. Or this is a mother and child, post-delivery, and all is well. You deserve love, and beneath that was children, that they're affecting your love life. Also, a mother needs self-care first once the child is safe, and of course that's dependent on the child's age, how much attention you need to give them to keep them safe. But once they're walking and talking and they're safe and they can do what you tell them to do, you have to take care of yourself first. The Lovers reversed from 3 to 2, because this is the Tarot of Sexual Magic. There's 2 lovers in this Lovers card. So lovers go from 3 to 2 as the harsh truth is out of the poor treatment in a facility or about a rehab that someone's experiencing, hospitalization and arrest, deviant behavior, or dealing in a MASH unit perhaps. And the King of Swords upright with a woman looking in the window, perhaps at night mirroring their emotions, their heart, or drinking habits or rituals of reunion. Mating in the wild with an egg gift and dessert and makeup sex. So this is like perhaps a ritual of some of the Masons that keep going back so they could do whatever they want. They could break up, perhaps go mess around with somebody else, and then come back and have makeup sex, or not fooling around with anyone else, but still leaving to have their own time without anyone bugging them, and then coming back when they feel like it, when they want to have makeup sex. So that could be somebody. And then it's 12:12 as I turn the page. So it's funny, after the 11th hour, we have 12:12, which is 2 hangmen. And that before I start here, I did have these 4 cards up front, kind of indicating the theme of the read today. And that's the Queen of Swords, which she's reversed today. And then we have the 10 of Wands, the Tower, and the Lovers. And they're both up. The Lovers is reversed. The Tower is upright. The Lovers and the 2 of Cups were both reversed today. So I was getting that the Queen of Swords, dealing with the big burden regarding the Tower or the sudden events, the explosions, the eruptions, the epiphanies, and the sexual energies. So it's like the 4 E's for me, the Tower: explosions, eruptions, epiphanies, and energy of the lovers, either in breakup or in disconnect without affection. And the Queen of Swords reversed, she's the war widow. So when she's reversed, she's either a really, nasty person, or she's just deeply wounded and hurt. Like, she was already wounded when she was upright, and now she's been killed again, basically. So the lobster has found his pearl, away from 2 sets of partners, or double dates in the mountains naked, or wife swapping under the full moon, or tired of being the 5th wheel, not like the others, and found his pearl, perhaps a plot of land with a beautiful view. After focusing on butts, feet, elbows, knees, heels, and soles, cracks and nails on the chalkboard, planning a reunion, tired of being a slave owner or a maid owner, or having others kissing your feet or your slouchy boots or your ass, cutting themselves in self-disrespect, or dumping 2 women for a third, or making sure 2 females are happy and set before picking your own pearl and making up for lost time, or done juggling women in general, only focused on one, or nightly reunions, or Gemini or Cancer here. Or one has their boyfriend and one is clingy and another trying to dominate, or dominatrix, and the divine masculine just wants to have normal sex and is saying thigh highs are fine, which is really funny here. So, they could be talking about children and a partner, or just children. So then the music comes up as number 32, which is the journey and the journeyman. And beneath music was self-love, which is 61, is the risk card. So it's like taking a big risk to love yourself first. So in a bold move, travel or ascension, or Cancer with Scorpio person, and that can be Cancer with Scorpio energy inside them too. Maybe have a little Scorpio in their chart. Juggling the rainbow with their eye on the prize, or performing at sea level so others can see what they're doing. Nothing to hide. The Ace of Pentacles reversed is withholding time, money, and effort, or a new life. Lacking faith or due to foolish behavior, or traveling, show, or wanting to take it on the road. Needing courage, or weak with kids, or soulmate or twin, or kids or twins are loving each other, but adults are not, or Leo reversed and Taurus reversed had a falling out with Aries reversed. And so here again, we're reiterating the Leo, Taurus, and Aries, which we had the same in the first pile. So it's the exact same signs. But here there's also a Cancer on top. Or Leo reversed and Taurus reversed are engaging in foolish behavior, but pretending to be innocent and can do no wrong in their parents' eyes. So whether this is the masculine and his siblings and his parents, or him and his children, it can go both ways. Or the Empress reversed or Taurus reversed is a mother, and the Aries reversed and Leo reversed are kids, just like the tree, and the cat watching out for the bunny and frog, Honey Bunny and Prince Charming, Kermit and Miss Piggy, or Cancer waiting in the car and saying, "Are you happy now?" Stayed for the kids, and now the innocent kids are giving them nothing but problems, along with their mother or grandmother, or spending faster now than you can make money. And then now you take the blame again for spoiling them rotten, or Empress is weak and took a fall, or is driving you crazy, costing more money, and can't work fast enough to satisfy them, and can't get ahead. This is at 12:45, which is the Hangman and then the Five of Cups. The Empress reverse here could be a ringleader, or she may fall, and she could fall from grace, or literally fall, or is the drama queen, and the Emperor's rising above, leading the way with good news, transmuting negativity into happiness, heading towards another Empress reversed for a reunion, or stopping by to visit an ill relative on the way to a reunion, with music and everything at the full moon. Perhaps the music is journey, or just going on a journey. At 12:53, which is the Hangman and then the Knight of Swords, which can be the messenger of truth or the knight in shining armor, or just rushing in with some harsh words, because it's never easy with the messenger of truth. Rising above the crowds, and when I went to write crowds, it wrote crowns. So rising above the crowds or crowns to carry on. So that was coming up. I looked to the sea. So come sail away with me from Styx was coming up. So sticks and stones may break share on my heart. So sticks and stones may break my share on heart and bones, but words don't have to hurt me and my shadow. Poling down the avenue, or two Empresses reversed at work with journeyman's help to mediate them, or merge the polarities and come together in reunion and make up or play nicely. The recent past is the Nine of Swords reversed, trying to end the nightmare of the wounded warrior, knowing and keeping to themselves in order to stay pure or untainted, or not guilty by association. Standing up to others and taking the high ground, implementing a plan for issues at work, getting along and starting over, but not telling or in a heated exchange, looking back, going back, or living in the past, or insisting that the past be laid to rest. With mediation and the 5D connect, with insecurities, manipulation, and not having the tools to deal with it. The foundation here is the Two of Cups reversed, the disconnect, at a distance or not seeing eye to eye or face to face. Home with the Queen of Wands, watching free bird leap with open heart, The Queen of Cups reversed at night, or Cancer, or Leo, or Aries, or 2 with Cancer, or at the full moon, with the Queen of Swords reversed. So there could be 2 Cancers here. So it could be a Cancer, Leo, Aries, or 2 Cancers here at the full moon, with the Queen of Cups reversed at night and the Queen of Swords reversed. So they could both have Cancer in their chart. But Leo and Aries were coming up too. But always arguing upstairs, or 2 girls howling, or their music blasting, or 2 young girls acting like old biddies, or 2 old biddies acting like children. And Aries dreaming of being free from all this. And this can be the Queen of Wands. She's the only one upright here. So the central energy here is sunshine, or the solar deity. Full exposure, fully energized at Leo full moon in Aquarius, arguing with Cancer. So you can just see those 3 energies together: Leo, Aquarius, and Cancer. On guard, defensive, offensive, or Leo and child are protecting the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed in an awakening, or protecting their fragile egos from the Knight of Wands reversed player, or mother and child who fell short of expectations, or are holding back their true desires, or they're preying on the weak and they're actually opportunists. Acting needy and clinging to play the sun, or defending their position at work or in a business, or Leo or the Divine Masculine defending the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed ideas, or awakening, or children are overprotected, or keeping them in fear of players and viruses out there. So overprotected parents, but I was also getting overprotected businesses now with the virus, like having to do so much layering. It's kind of ridiculous. You have to agree. So, and I'm sure it's costing a lot of the businesses, extra money to have to constantly change their protective wear and that kind of stuff when they, like a dentist office. It's crazy. So, or getting a bodyguard or protection order, or watching the bodyguard on TV, or the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. This can be a mother and child, but also can be the same person. So the Page of Pentacles could just be accentuating her helplessness, or her pretending to be helpless so that she doesn't have to do anything, right? So she gets the guy to save her so she doesn't have to do any of the work. But these could also be exposed to the virus. So now they could be like parents who are mad at their kids because they were never listening to them. And then somebody gets the virus, and now all of a sudden they're paying attention to what they were trying to tell them to be sensible about things. So exposed to the virus and awake and aware now, when before they wouldn't listen about being sensible. So the challenge being here, the Chariot upright and Durga pulled by 3 horses, or a very small car, on a quest to dump emotional attachments and insecurities, or tools they don't need any longer. The King of Swords and Hermit reversed, which can be the same person or 2, over isolating, going crazy or seen as crazy, or ready to come out, or a process of elimination to get to the core, the one, the pit, the juicy part, the bittersweet, at 137, which is the Magician and the King of Cups. So at 139, which is then the Knight of Cups, who's reversed today. The King's upright, but the Knight's reversed. The Dark Knight, or the Death card, the Dark Knight to seal Divine Feminine, which is also the World, the Grim Reaper to the World, or a white horseback ride around a lake, falls, or in the snow in the middle of the night, or Dark Night is coming to your neighborhood soon, or Death becomes her. In a transformation of the world, 4 corners, X marks the spot on top of the 0, or the X's and zeros, the hugs and kisses. So X marks the spot on top of the 0, filled Divine Feminine. Or Scorpio and Pisces, or someone is paranoid that the end is near. Or Frank Sinatra, Blue Eyes. And now the end is near, and so I face my final curtain. So that was coming up. I've had a life that's full, and I did it my way. Or watch out, Divine Feminine or Pisces, here he comes. Or is that Death becomes the Knight of Pentacles? Death a test of faith. And the Knight of Pentacles, a twist of fate, an after-death test of the Jesus and Mary Magdalene template. Sagittarius or patient angel sharing, giving, settling out to start over in the sunshine or with their sunshine, exposing all or energizing the sun, reflecting on the moon, day and night, night and day, 24 hours in a bold move to the Empress reversed, with the Knight of Cups reversed, jealousy of the King of Cups upright, or Empress reversed and Knight of Cups reversed, defending themselves to keep the King of Cups guarding their decision, or he's guarding his own decision or judgment, announcement, or wake-up call, guarding music or words to be played perhaps to the Divine Feminine. Or the Empress reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed have to get through the King of Cups Scorpio to see the show or witness an angel or music concert, or it's all sold out. Perhaps sailing to Christopher Cross, which is so weird because Christopher Cross came up the other day, and I would never think of Christopher Cross. So I looked up Christopher Cross because it's talking about music concerts to see what if he's touring right now and where he's touring. So I look up Christopher Cross, and he's on his 40th anniversary tour, and 40 is the Page of Cups, so that comes up again. And he was planned for near me in Reading in Philadelphia on August 6th, 2020. And this was coming up as very significant, August 6th. But it was canceled. Or the King of Cups is mediating defensive Aquarius, Queen of Swords reversed, with Empress reversed and Knight of Cups reversed. Or Queen of Swords reversed is the lawyer mediating them. Leo, Cancer, Taurus, Aquarius, and Virgo energies here. Perhaps a Sagittarius upright and a Libra reversed too. Just a lot of water here. So a lot of Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, perhaps. At 2:07 now, which is the High Priestess and the Chariot, now in the present moment is the Shadow reversed, the detox, walking away from coming clean, getting clean, or cleaning up, or cleanup duty is a large burden. It's hard work. It's like walking away. They don't want to do that. Needing to use intuition or that their secret's out. Floating Emperor upright, or Capricorn reversed, Pisces reversed, Aries upright, and Leo reversed in disconnect, or the Emperor upright and the Empress reversed in a breakup, or just not seeing eye to eye or face to face about Leo's prison sentence, or the Emperor's hostage being weak. And Leo reversed, or ego out of control here, or Emperor coming clean about being a prisoner to a secret passion that he can't control, or the Emperor's upright, but Leo, Capricorn, and Pisces and Taurus are all affected and reversed. Also Capricorn, Sagittarius, Libra, detoxing could be a secret burden, and walking away, protecting their heart and keeping their energy pure by refusing an offer in the 5D rest, meditation, and being patient, sharing, holding their tongue about Dream Girl, or starting over in love, healing, shining light, and dreams come true, or didn't tell Aquarius upright, Taurus upright, Capricorn reversed, and Leo upright, or Hierophant is awake to exposure of Taurus and Capricorn reversed, spreading the word, but the message wasn't received, or wasn't received well, or aligning with fond memories of the past at night at 2:21, which is the High Priestess in the world, so complete, or going out in the world, or that he just can't stop thinking about the 222. And actually it's 2:22 time here, and the actual read ends on 3-2 cards. All the clarifiers at the top are twos. So this is very significant. And Room 222 was a show about guidance counselors, which I always bring up. But this is saying, so something wasn't received well, or aligning with fine memories of the past, or at night, or can't stop thinking about day and night, night and day, finding peace away from an unhappy family, or an ending of an emotional cycle of casual flirtations, and being driven day and night in an equitable relationship of misery loves company, with the Empress reversed, where justice will prevail for the Knight of Pentacles, humble loyal servant, over the Knight of Cups reversed, jealous and insincere, perhaps a moody user. The Knight of Pentacles is looking back at romantic tie, where the worst of the pain is over, with the bliss now coming in of detox, over the King of Cups, or unconditional love, along with the excruciating truth announced to help divine feminines not die or climb out of their early graves. And here was the time was 228, which is the High Priestess, and the Two of Wands, choice of path, but it's also the twin flames. And specifically, not only was the time 228, but the number 28 came up here with this card. So Two of the Cups were showing with the number 8. Soon here is the Eight of Cups upright, walks away, finding another calendar window to open, just like those Christmas calendars, looking for the 9th window that will lead him to the higher octave of the 10, 11, and 12. Because remember, there's 12 days of Christmas, right, in the window of that calendar, or there's 12 windows. But it's in numerology, the basic numbers are 1 through 9, but the transcended numbers are 10, 11, 12, and it's 655 in case you were wondering. And it's 4104 on this clock, which is the Ace of Cups and the Emperor. So transcendence is here, the final 3 days to Christmas, the gathering of the Christ consciousness, or the day of resurrection, the unity consciousness, and of course this talks about the second coming. 7 trumpets are singing. Again, this came up this week already about the twins being the 7 trumpets, singing of the twin flames, walking away and within to clear the collective dysfunction and the economic downfall, leaving behind any connection to insecurities and manipulations. The Scrooge, the King of Swords, Hermit reversed, is showing his hands but not his face or his tail. The recent past is the foot grounded, but the left foot, or just the right foot, is grounded, but the left foot is attached to the twin on the other end of things, clearing the etheric realms. Whereas the masculine, is the 3D gate holder, the feminine is the 5D gate holder. The King of Cups is not getting along with the King of Wands reversed in a family fall announcement. The King of Wands reversed may be coming up as arrogant, and the King of Cups, Scorpio, is upright, but with jealous tendencies, perhaps seen as out of his mind or hiding or undercover. Siblings, cousins, or childhood best friends may have a falling out, and now the Page of Wands upright, which can be the King of Wands reversed, his inner child or his actual child, is coming to the King of Swords, perhaps an Aquarius, and this could be a friend, a relative, or a lawyer, but the Page of Wands is coming to the King of Swords for help, which is the Divine Masculine's block. And he may have a block about being called a blockhead because brothers or cousins or friends may have teased him when he was little. Or 3 brothers or cousins or friends, and the King of Swords was always the third wheel. Now this King of Swords could be an Aquarius, but it doesn't have to be. The star card could be a healer, the star, so any of those descriptions could describe the King of Swords. But here, that's as a grown-up, but when he was young, he may have always felt like the third wheel with brothers or cousins or friends, or teased by the King of Wands reversed specifically, who now wants his help or his star power to use him, kissing up to him and using innocent child to do it. Or the King of Cups' 2 kids won't talk to the Page of Wands, so the King of Wands reversed is mad, and the Page of Wands is getting the King of Swords to help them out. Aquarius energy is all over this, judgment and star power. He sees himself as the 3 of Pentacles reversed, perhaps blowing his top, his crown, his cover, his mind, or blowing things out of the water at work, as the Knight of Wands reversed falls short, looking back now, exposed fully, or kids talking, or seeing now what happens when you spoil your kids. And the Knight of Wands reversed here could be a player, but it also could just be someone falling short of expectations on energy, time, money, whatever it is. Or, someone can be manipulative who always promises things and knows they're not going to follow through. So it just depends on the perspective. It also can be someone who's been holding back their true desires, and now it gets blown out of the water because the Tower comes in. Or the Knight of Wands reversed, Scorpio, Sag, or Leo, is freaking out at work about the past and how they were treated, or about their player ways exposed or acting out. And this can be crazy Sagittarius or a child as well. So here the King of Pentacles is coming up as over the grief, loss, regret, or shame, or just the past. The King of Pentacles is upright, but withholding time, money, and energy, perhaps to heal and lead the way forward, while this other person's freaking out or all hell breaks loose. He's remaining the sound of reason or calm. At 253 is the High Priestess and the 53 of the Knight of Swords. Rising above the past, or someone suddenly fell, or treating falls, or dealing with leaks or explosion where someone got hurt or exposed to or got radiated, and the King of Pentacles saving, magnetizing, or healing before the journey, or refused to pay until they were healed, or suddenly with reimbursement issues for sudden falls if not virus protected, or suddenly got played by an employee or a child, but now he's over it. Calling in soulmate, and this is the King of Pentacles, which doesn't have to be the Divine Masculine. The Divine Masculine could be the Knight of Wands. It just depends on your situation. So calling in your soulmate, flirt, retreat, and make the effort all came up for the Divine Masculine here. Or seeing someone who was injured in the past who's now riding horseback. Around the Divine Masculine, how he's seen is the Six of Swords upright, finding peace, or traveling to peace, or dealing with dolphins perhaps, or dolphin music, or sounds, or music of the spheres, choosing a new path to present the truth to patient, angel, or Sagittarius, and then purging and alchemizing to sexual energy to be returned, or trading truth and triumph for sex and creativity. Swords and wands align, both in right hands, like a right handshake, in a handshake type merge, or trading words or intel for options. Angel soaks in the sun to fill up the tank, and purges then to send the Ace of Wands sexual energy, which converts into the Ace of Swords truth energy, and then is returned to the angel again as a signal to soak up more sun, water, and fun. Peace be with you, as Gabriel is the mediator here of temperature, or in other words, temp. ER, which is urgent, AT, at, and then URE. Temperature urgently rises at Holy Grail reference. So when someone's, right, when they get heated up and it gets out of control, the block for the masculine here is star power, juice from the stars, charging stones, pacifiers, ankhs and such, lollipops, crosses with loops to hang from your neck. That's so done. We know you can be more creative, that you can do better than that. The masculine's block is allowing inspiration to just hit him out of the blue, to walk like an Egyptian, Madonna, the Blu-ray disc 2, music and star power, flower power, sour power, or puss, Cat Stevens, Connie leaving, Cradle Robin, red coats, red boots, and well-read books and cooks and styling hooks. Captain Hook cooked up from Peter's third eye, a tale to tell, through 20th century peanut butter and crackers, and Jack stalking Star, while back to back with Jackie story, and nobody pleased but the teased and the tortured and the merry-go-round, rollin', 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 by the sea of unity. At 327 is the Empress and the Ace of Wands. Healing comes up, but even more so for the Divine Masculine here is the environment, that it be green and healthy. Whether that's physically or emotionally, spiritually, that it be healthy and green. An environment of no big love, no more big love at work, with Page of Wands flirt, or child taking over. So this could be a younger, much younger person taking over his position perhaps. Maybe they're teaching them to do their job. Or like father, like child, or a niece and nephew. The Queen of Swords is reversed, holding on loosely, grounding and saving, for the Hermit reversed to face the Knight of Cups reversed, or that they're crazy jealous. As the Three of Cups reunion of the past, the worst is over, with the bliss of detox setting in, and a bold move to break up or travel between Capricorn reversed and Gemini reversed, or detox facility and ex or kids, or reunion of Capricorn reversed, Cancer upright, and Gemini reversed. Or Capricorn reversed and Cancer upright, which are the polarity of each other, lovers who are in need of attention. And that can be one person as well. So at 3:35, which is the Empress and the 35 of the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands, it's just 50:05 on the clock, which is 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment, and then the 5 of the Hierophant. Or the Queen of Swords reversed, maybe a Gemini or ex-lover with Aquarius bodyguard, and the King of Cups, Cancer, jealous. Or the Queen of Swords reversed, an air sign or Virgo with jealous people around her. Or she has Capricorn or Gemini moon and Cancer rising, or it's just in her chart. Or Justice, divorce, judge, or Libra, Page of Pentacles, jealous of Cancer or Scorpio man. Or Queen of Swords reversed is coming together at night with 6 of Cups reversed, unhappy kids or unhappy memories or twin, and any difficulties that have happened between them, secretly breaking patterns without even being face to face. Or the secret is out of a negative past and dropping the facade of the disconnect or the breakup. The King of Wands reverse is starting over, looking back to rise above, or in other words, falling back to create momentum, just like the energy wave does, to propel forward on the journey and disconnect with a third party through work to find peace through suffering and silence, or perhaps through a sister, and exposing it all and challenged by ascending quickly, by walking away and within to the stars, to healing and light, and detoxing grief, abandonment, and rejection wounds, to reunite at night or at the full moon. And then the full moon was coming up as August 2nd. First, the August 1st to 6th was coming up. So this 8/6 was the date of that concert that got canceled. There's something significant there. But of course, 8/8 is very significant as well because it's Lionsgate. But I was getting the date, the 2 is coming up too, from all the 2s coming up in the read. So August 2 through 8, that whole time period is very significant. But then they were showing me 2 to 3, which came up yesterday as the most significant hours of the reset in the middle of the night. So they were giving me 2 to 3, most significant, or 2 to 8, or even 1 to 9. So August 1st to August 9th. And then the numbers come up as 2 to 3 being the King of Wands, which was very significant in the read. 2 to 8 is the 28 of the twin flames. And then 1 to 9 is the 19 of the sun, or the sun, like the father-son. So those 3 numbers are very significant because they come up a lot in the Bible as well. 28, 19, and 2, 3, or 23. And of course then 8/8 is Lionsgate, the cat's meow, as the 7 trumpets lay the groundwork and growl and grounding work with the cruise of the revelation of the resurrection and sounding board to twins mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Well, the sheepish on the lamb with a mighty roar. So then I was guided to a site called neverthirsty.org, which basically summarized with some nice charts all about the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, the 7 signs, and the 7 bowls. And it was very interesting. So you should go look at those charts because I was getting a lot of downloads from that. I had always gotten the number 3.5 out of 7 and never knew why because I'm totally not educated in religion. I wasn't raised religiously at all. And the seals are broken up in 3.5 and 3.5 years of 7 years, which I also researched recently too. And I got the same breakdown of years as far as how long the war would last, because basically you have the 3.5 years of war and then the 3.5 years of replenishment after the war. But here it was coming up as the 3.5 years of peace and then the 3.5 years of tribulation. So of course during the peace there's nothing coming up, but then during the 3.5 years of tribulation, ends in the Armageddon and the second coming of Jesus, right? But they're showing me, they showed 3 different sections between these things that are supposedly happening up in heaven, which remember 5D is heaven. The first group was the 144,000 witnesses of tribulation and martyrs. The second section in the middle was the giant angel with the 2 witnesses. And then the third section was the 144,000 witnesses again of the gospel and the final judgment, which would be at Armageddon and the second coming of Jesus. So I literally was getting, they stated that Michael was the giant angel, or at least I'm aligning that with where they were saying that was Archangel Michael. But I was getting Metatron as the archangel in the first section, and then Archangel Gabriel as the one in the third section with the judgment. So they were showing me all this stuff. And also the first scene they were referencing from Revelation, of course, the numbers were 7:1 to 17, which is 71:17, the reflection of 17. And that one stated 144,000 tribulation martyrs and saints. And then, so the seals basically describe the plan. Like, here's the plan we wrote down on how to do this. So then we have the trumpets, which are the announcements, which have been coming up as the twin flames this week for some reason. So the trumpeters are coming up as the twin flames, which regard the 1/3 of the land burning, then 1/3 of the sea life gets destroyed, 1/3 of the fresh water gets polluted, 1/3 of the celestial bodies becomes dimmed, and then there's 2 sections of demons, and then the 7th always, they call it scopes into the next. So the 7th trumpets then scopes into the 7 signs. And the first sign is the woman in the sun, and you have to interpret this as a code. It's not necessarily, exactly what they're saying. So they're talking about a clothed woman in the sun. And the moon under feet, which can reference, the moon is the false light, and the sun for the divine masculine could reference the divine feminine. So it could reference the divine feminine with the false light under control and the crown of 12 stars and with child. So someone gets pregnant, and then there's the red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, and that could reference Trump. And the heads were 7, are they diadems or diadems? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. So then the 3rd sign was the male child. So then obviously someone's pregnant, then a child's born, and then the 4th sign is Archangel Michael, which then parallels with this middle section where the giant angel is seen by 2 witnesses. Then the 5th sign is it says the Antichrist, but now I always see the Antichrist as Antichristum, which just means before Christ. It's not anything negative. It's just the shadow energy, which we all have. And then the 6th is the false prophet. So Archangel Michael's supposed to come right at that 3.5 mark where the tribulation begins. So then the 7th sign feeds into the 7 bowls, which is exactly, it's book 19:19, which is the sun and the sun. So the sun and the central sun. And that's chapter 15, and 15 is the devil, and that talks about Armageddon. Well, 18 talks about Armageddon. It talks about it in 14:14, which is the 2 angels, which is really cool. It starts at 14:14. And then the 7 bowls are 19:19. And then chapter 15 is all about the 7 bowls, or the plagues. All right, and that's the devil, so that makes sense. And then the 18 is the war, but the 19 is then the second coming of Jesus. So the plagues that came up, the first is the malignant sore, the second is the sea blood, the third is the fresh water blood, then the intense heat, then the painful darkness, and then the gathering for war. And I was getting a lot of references to this. So, the malignant sore can reference how that cancer took over our world. The sea blood and the fresh water blood was very cool, because in the south of France, when I went on the Mary Magdalene retreat, there's a place where Mary Magdalene supposedly did baptisms, where the fresh water met the salt water. And when I was there, the Catholics made a formal apology to the Cathars for having killed them way back then, because the Cathars' castle that that quote from Jesus that I always tell you guys about. The Cathars' castle was, it was like, I forget how they got killed, but, it was like being gassed, or, just like Hitler. But the same year I was there to be at the Cathars' castle, where they were all killed by the Catholics, the Catholic Church officially apologized to them that year. I think it was 17. So this was very significant to me. The sea of blood and the freshwater blood was literally referencing the Mary Magdalene waters, the emotional bleeding, and referencing specifically the Cathars that needed to have been apologized to and were. And then and there's personal references I have to those kind of timelines as well. But then the intense heat can reference the drama and the fires in our lives in these past times. And then the painful darkness that falls when you go through dark night of the soul. And then the gathering for war. And of course, then the end is the planet self-destructs, but that's really about coming into 5D Earth or Gaia. So it's very interesting reading all that stuff and how, with all the information that we have now about Ascension. And then there was just a summary of all that stuff that talked about the fifth angel, or the bowls, poured the bowl on the throne. And when I was at the dentist, just thought I'd meditate I've known her for many, many years, the person who cleans my teeth. So I thought I would meditate and see if I got any messages for her. But I really couldn't meditate because it's hard to concentrate on keeping your mouth open and meditate at the same time. But I did see two things. I saw something about like an x-ray, like the skull and crossbones type reference, after I'd said, I don't want any x-rays. And then I also saw a throne, which I thought it was a message for her, but I didn't know what reference it was, so I didn't bring it up to her. And then when I got home and read this, the summary here says the fifth angel, or the fifth bowls, the fifth angel poured the bowl on the throne of the beast and darkened the gnawed tongues because of pain and their sores. And here I am at the dentist, the gnawed tongues because of pain and their sores. When the lamb, and I just talked about the lamb, broke the fifth seal, I saw under the altar, and here now I'm just paraphrasing, I'm not saying all the words. I saw under the altar, which altar came up yesterday in the read, the souls of those slain because of the word of God, the testimony they maintained, and then asked God not to judge those who came against them, basically, and each were given a white robe to take a rest until the number of their fellow servants and brethren who were then to be killed, even as they had been, would be completed also. Them, then, from everywhere, standing before the throne and the Lamb, which I just referenced in the read, clothed in white robes and palm branches in hands, they cry out in a loud voice, salvation to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. And the Revelations chapter there was 7:9, which is, for me, 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So that was very cool. So then I was getting the reference, and guess what time it was? It was 4:56. 456 is referencing the 4D. 1, 2, 3 is the 3D. 4, 5, 6 is the 4D. 7, 8, 9 is the 5D. So here the 4D rainbow bridge was being referenced, that all of this is happening to dump us into 5D, which is then heaven on earth. So when I was asking which archangels, because they only brought up Archangel Michael, but I knew that Metatron and Gabriel were referenced here too, because Michael and Metatron come to me together all the time. And then Gabriel comes as, the herald, basically. So, and Gabriel was directly coming up for me in the third part at the end, at the second coming, that Gabriel comes to mediate the twins, basically. And so I was getting that Michael's the middle part, but Metatron's the first part. But I was also getting, even more so than Metatron, the first part of that journey, Lemurians and Atlanteans came up. Lemurians regarding I use my cards, and that has to do with the stars and the crystals, using the light from the stars and doing crystal work down here. Mary Magdalene came up with Marseille, which is Marseille in France, and the yellow buttercup color, and the sixth ray of dogma. And Lady Portia also came up with Saint Germain, which have to do with transmutation and justice of mercy and balance in the 5D. Lady Nada came up regarding the seventh ray of ritual magic of Atlantis and using your psychic gifts for ancient healing. The Sphinx came up with Ra, Atlantis, and Egypt, and the 5D again with the crystal skulls. And it's funny because the skull and crossbones came up when I saw the throne. And the Sphinx, which is like the throne, the hollow earth, also the connection between the Sphinx and hollow earth, and the Mars connection to that. Also, Paul the Venetian came up, the third ray of art, and the flame of liberty and freedom. Lord Kumika, the eighth ray, along with Metatron, who set the golden age in Atlantis to purify and communicate enlightenment and unconditional love. So now I've stated to you 4 different rays that came up for the first section here. And the rays are in order of the way I wrote them down. Were ray 6, ray 7, ray 3, and ray 8. Well, 67 is the Knight of Pentacles, and 38 is the Queen of Cups, which very much reference the masculine and the feminine. Metatron did come up. Both cards for Metatron came up, 27 and 28. Golden orange light, the stellar gateway, Luxor, the throat chakra, that he opens the doors to ascension, and basically is the coordinator for the whole ascension. And then Lord Kamika came up. Water came up with Poseidon and the music of the spheres, the divine blueprint and harmony. And then the gold and silver cloak came up regarding wisdom and power to give and receive, hollow earth and seventh heaven. And then you will be magnetic to people, animals, and situations, and angel sonics. And then finally, Commander Ashtar came up as the mothership in Machu Picchu, and the call to, and basically they're the call to service the universe. So, and also in the part 3, Fire Dragon came up because Gabriel's associated with the fire dragons and Thor, and transmuting energies, and the transcending and the phoenix rising. So Gabriel was coming up over Thor and Thor over the fire dragons to consume negative energies and then fill the space with diamond light. So to use any of those energies to clear your stuck places, you know, as far as energy. And then we went back to the read to summarize again, and the King of Wands reversed, starting over, looking at the past to transcend and be the phoenix rising through suffering and silence, and the Empress reversed in disconnect as the Two of Cups reversed, and that can be from himself, exposed fully to detox and challenged by the ascension process, the workplace issues, and then walking away to find peace and light and come together with the Queen of Swords reversed as the Three of Cups in reunion at night to relive your childhood and past lives and disconnect, to rise in suffering and silence, the central energy exposure to shadow work and ascension, to walk away and within, to shine your light, to increase your vibration, and to complete your clearing with the Queen of Swords reversed together. And then I was getting the August references. Well, we had triple twos at the end of this read. So again, you know, so much follow your guides. 222. It's like follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. Oh, it's so funny. Now I'm looking at the Ten of Wands straight ahead of you behind the love. And I'm seeing them doing their little dance with the wands there, carrying the burden. Because. And it's 7:22 on the clock now. Because of the wonderful things he does. It's 7:01 on this clock. I'm off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Oz is O2. Oxygen. And the air that we breathe. But August dates were coming up here. So August 6th came up, August 2nd came up. The whole time period of August 1st to the 6th first came up, then the 2nd to the 8th, and then again the 1 to the 9 of the 19. So it's a very important time period. And then when I was getting the 6 of Cups is there at the end, and then 3 twos. So I was getting not only, and then the moon's there, and before the moon is the 3. So it's like 3, 6, and then 2, 2, 2. And they're all referencing 3s and 6s. So we have 3, 6, 9, and then 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 was coming up as well as 3, 6, and 9. So all those numbers up to the 12th in August are really significant. And then I was getting 2 by 3 and 2 to 3 again. So the full moon is basically the 2nd to the 3rd, because the 3rd is the full moon. And then the 3 to the 6, the 2 to the 8, and the 1 to the 9. So there's 36, 28, 19, and 23 are significant numbers for some reason there. All right, let's pull an energy deck card and see what all this is coming up for. So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Take a deep breath. Let's clear all the negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so what is our takeaway from this read today? Whoa, that flipped out. And the Knight of Wands reverse was flipping out at work. So here we got the man holding the heart. 45 is the 5 of Cups, which is the grieving card. And I just want to see which direction that was in. And it's reversed. Okay. So this, and it can be this way as well. So the 5 of Cups came up reversed in the read. Let me just get this a little better quality. So here he's getting over it, right? Here he's grieving, but when it's reversed, he's getting over it, which definitely was the message in the read, that the King of Pentacles right here is getting over any grief, loss, regret, guilt, shame, the past. Okay, so that's a good sign. And we have these two guys right after him. The 2nd chakra and the 3rd chakra. There we go. Look at that, 2 and 3. We just had 23, and here we have 36 again. And then, of course, 37 is always significant. Wow. So 36 and 2-3 just came up, because 2nd and 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel and Ariel. So this is about the sacral energy of creativity and sexuality, and then the solar plexus of your confidence and shining your light and being unconditional love. So these are coming up along with the man holding a heart. Okay. And that can reference people he's around. It can reference the divine feminine. It can reference children. But they're very angelic energy. Now this person is not referencing wings, but these two are. And it feels like, oh look, he feels like a 3rd wheel. Like he doesn't fit. So that's coming up again too. Like he doesn't know how to do that. Yeah, see, because the next one coming up is Angel of Balance, and they have wings too. So this could be him and 2 kids as well. Because if we bring this one out here, we have him and 2 kids. But perhaps still feeling left out, but getting over it. And maybe that's why he's got his wings. Okay? But then there's the deceit here, and I have to show this one too, because that Knight of Wands reverses right here, and that's this guy. The 25 is the Knight of Wands. So still that energy around. And then the bottom of the deck is the thinking man, so him figuring out what he wants to do next. The 46 of the children in the garden, right? Going past to his childhood to figure out what he loves to do and using that in his mission work, or what, how he wants to go forward in his work. And how to reconnect also with his inner child, with his actual children, and with the divine feminine as well. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you guys. I do have, I meant to show this to you up front, but this is the basic read that's in front of you. And then this is the full read that's in front of you. Okay, so make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Be good to yourselves. It was just 1:13. Wow. It's been a little bit hard to breathe today, to get all the air in. Just take care of yourselves, guys, and rise and be loved. Bye.